Most midnight knocks are mistakes or pranks, but for Ethan Miller, that knock wasn't an accident. It was the beginning of a mystery that would shake him to his core and reveal a truth he never expected. Ethan lived alone in a quiet neighborhood. It was a peaceful Friday night, warm tea, a late movie, nothing unusual. He was just scrolling through his phone, the soft lamplight casting a warm glow across the room, when a sudden, loud knock echoed through the house. Who would visit at this hour? It was midnight. He wasn't expecting anyone. For a moment, he thought he might have imagined it. Then it came again. Knock, knock. A little louder this time, more urgent. Hesitantly, he got up from the couch and walked to the front door. He opened it just a few inches, and a rush of cool wind swept into the hall. Standing on his porch was a man who looked to be in his late 60s. He had gray hair, glasses, and wore a worn-out coat. He didn't look threatening, just strangely familiar. "Sorry to bother you this late," the man said, his voice gentle. "But I need your help." Ethan hesitated. The man didn't seem dangerous, just tired, lost, and desperate. "Do we know each other?" he asked. The stranger paused, his eyes filled with a deep sadness. "Not really. But I knew someone who lived here. Someone important." Ethan had only moved into the house a few months earlier. Hearing this caught his attention. He listened as the man continued. Her name was Grace. Ethan froze. Grace. That was his mother's name. She had passed away 2 years ago. But she had grown up in this very house of detail. Ethan had told almost no one. "How do you know my mother?" Ethan asked quietly, his heart pounding. The stranger's voice trembled slightly. "I promised her something, decades ago, and I'm afraid I'm running out of time to keep that promise." Ethan's curiosity outweighed his fear. He stepped aside cautiously, inviting the man in, but kept his phone close, just in case. The man entered, looking around the room slowly, as if he were reliving old memories. "I haven't been inside this house since the 70s, the stranger said, a nostalgic tone in his voice. "It hasn't changed much. You knew my mother back then?" Ethan asked, still trying to piece everything together. "We grew up together," the man explained. "She helped me more times than I can count. But there's something I never told her." He then reached into his coat pocket and pulled out an old, folded envelope. Its edges were yellowed with age. The ink on the front faded. "This belonged to Grace," the stranger said, his hand shaking slightly. "But she left before I could return it. I've carried it with me for 40 years. Ethan took the envelope carefully. Inside, he found a small, handwritten note and a photograph. The photo showed his mother, around age 20, laughing with a group of friends. And among them was a much younger version of the stranger on his porch. The note was simple, but its words were powerful. Ethan read it aloud. "If life ever separates us, promise me you'll find peace. And don't let regret follow you." The stranger wiped a tear from his eye. "She wrote that for me," he confessed. "I was going through the darkest time of my life, but I left town without saying goodbye, and I've regretted it ever since. But why bring this now, after all these years?" Ethan asked. The stranger's voice grew soft. "I'm sick. My doctor says I may not have long. I didn't want to leave this world without honoring her kindness. Your mother saved me, and she never even knew it." Ethan felt a lump form in his throat. He could feel the raw sincerity in the man's voice. This wasn't a threat. It was a lifetime of unfinished human emotion. The stranger added, "She told me once, if you ever need a fresh start, knock on my door. Tonight." I needed it. Ethan offered the man a cup of tea, and they sat in the living room in a comfortable silence. Two strangers, connected by the same woman, sharing a moment of quiet humanity. There was no fear, no danger, just a shared understanding. "I think she'd be happy you came," Ethan said finally. And I'm glad you did. A look of pure relief washed over the man's face as he smiled. I can rest now. Thank you for listening. A little while later, Ethan walked him to the door. The night felt colder now, but strangely peaceful. The stranger walked away slowly, disappearing into the darkness. Ethan never saw the man again, but he kept the letter and the photo on his desk. It served as a reminder that sometimes the people who knock on our door at midnight aren't there to scare us. They're there to finish a chapter they couldn't close alone. And that is the story of the midnight stranger who carried a promise for 40 years. Thank you for watching. If this story moved you, please like and subscribe for more.